Welcome to Cool Dude Clem's Electronic Workshop with me, your host, Cool Dude Clem. You're just in time to witness my latest creation. Behold, FrankenPC! Well, anyway, this is my computer here that I've built, as you can see. And yeah, it's got lots and lots and lots of stuff here. And, well, as you can see. Well, people say I shake the camera too much, so I thought I'd really shake the camera. Anyway, this is the PC that I am building, called FrankenPC, and the shadow of the microphone is getting in the shot. And I do know that Frankenstein was the creator and not the monster, but I just thought that would be a good name for this. Anyway, let's take a look at what we have in here. Firstly, I've decided to use the board out of the old Pavilion because I don't really hold out much hope for that other board. I think that is just not going to work. So anyway, yep, this is a real Frankenstein of a job here. I've got all kinds of things out of different computers and bits and pieces. Anyway, I thought we'd start with the motherboard. I have made one little modification to this. I've added another 256 megs to the RAM, so we now have 768 in there. This is the original 512 on the left, and this one on the right is a 256, which came out of the other computer. So this will now have 768 megs of RAM. I know that's not much, but it should be an improvement. Should make it work a little better, and I'll be able to do flash on it. We've got power supply here for the computer. Also, got the transformer for the audio side of things. There's the voltage regulator and little isolation circuit for the audio input and output. That goes to this jack, as you probably already know. Got the amplifier here. And the rest of all that is connected into the computer somewhere. I think the video card's blocking the view of the audio input and output jacks, but anyway, I'm also going to add, as well as these, I'm going to add composite video in and out. I'm also going to add a couple of USB ports here and a 1394 Firewire, so I can plug in cameras and whatnot nice and easily. We have the optical drive here. I was going to have two, but there wasn't enough space to put two in, so I've had to settle for one. And here is the hard drive out of the video editing computer. Now, before I took this computer apart, I booted it up with this hard drive and installed all the drivers and everything, so we shouldn't have any problems in that area. Anyway, let's bring this beast to life and see if it survived. Right, I've got everything plugged in and nothing's blown up, so that's good. You can tell there's power coming in because we've got an orange light on the monitor. And also there is a green light on the power supply. Maybe if I turn the camera's light on, you might be able to see. Well, let's power this thing up and see if it works. That's a good sign. It's alive! It's alive! Okay, we got an error. Oh, never mind, it's just about the floppy drive, I think. I think it's just complaining that I haven't got a floppy drive connected up now. It's just gonna have to lump it. But I think it's going to work. Any minute now we should see Windows coming up. Any minute. Alright. I'm just going to let this boot, and let's see if it does anything. Okay, we have a problem. No sound. I've loaded up Modplug Tracker, which is what I use to make my music on, and nothing. It's obviously playing, and obviously the sound drivers are working, because if I tried to play that without any working sound drivers, I would get an error. But there is absolutely no sound, even if I turn the amplifier up. As far as it will go, nothing. I don't really know what's going on here. That's a bit worrying, actually. I hope I haven't broken something on the motherboard. Okay, I'm just going to try and find out what's going on here and why we haven't got any sound. Actually, I'll just make sure I haven't got the sound muted or something stupid like that. Let's see. Actually, see what the outputs are. I know there's an output configuration here somewhere. Okay, I've got green configured to line out, and I know what I've got plugged into there. Blue is configured as line in, and I know what's plugged into there, and I haven't got anything plugged into the microphone jack, so that doesn't matter. Alright, I'll just bring up the mixer, see if anything's muted. No, nothing's muted, so I don't know what's going on here. It was working before I took it out of the case. Okay, I've got the sound working. And you're not going to believe why the sound wasn't working. As it turns out, I'd have this thing here plugged in. I'd have this thing here plugged into the motherboard, or I won't get any sound. So I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, I don't know why it has to be plugged in. I guess the sound comes out of the motherboard, then passes through this thing and then goes back in and out of the audio ports. Why they've configured it that way, I really don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, there we are. Sound is working. I've still got a few things to do to this. I haven't put those extra fans in yet. I'm going to put those in. Also, over here I have a TV capture card, or video capture card, or whatever you want to call it. The only thing is, it's not exactly a low profile card, as you can see, so I don't know if it's going to get in the way when I try to put the shelf in, but we'll see. One thing that does bug me about this computer, or in fact any computer, is noise. There are so many noisy things inside a computer you would not believe. Well, you probably know there's noisy things inside a computer. Anyway, I've made the CPU fan much less noisy than it is, because I'm running speed fan and it's running at about half its normal speed. But this program will bring up the speed fan when the CPU gets warm, and right now it's only at 28 degrees centigrade. It would help if I was pointing the camera at the right thing. The other noisy thing inside is of course the hard drive. I don't know how well you can hear that, but that's producing quite a low frequency hum which kind of gets inside my head after a while. Anyway, I have also added the USB hub now, which if you remember was this thing that I had to plug in to make the audio work. Well, that also has USB and Firewire on it. Not quite sure where I'm going to put that yet. I've just put it there so it doesn't touch any of the circuit board and short anything out. Anyway, I'm going to install the other fans right there, and we'll see what we get. It looks like I'm going to have to make the shelf a bit higher than I originally thought of. Now, in case you're wondering why there is a Coke can on the table, well, that's as a reference, because that's how high I was going to make the shelf. And if I take this perfectly straight piece of wood here, it doesn't clear the top of the graphic card, as you can see, and the video capture card is way taller than it should be. I got my words in a complete muddle there, but You can see it's going to need to be about a centimetre higher than I thought I was going to have it. So that's not going to be too much of a problem, but it is a bit of a kick in the pants. Well, we've got more problems. I decided to put the fans in, and I had them running by themselves, and I just decided to get this magnet here. I'd hold it near the fans while they were running to see how much magnetic force was coming off them, and you would not believe the amount of magnetic coming off those fans. I mean, you hold one of these up to a transformer and you can feel a little bit of vibration, but with those things, it was just crazy. Not to mention that they're both connected in series, so they're only running at about half their normal voltage. But anyway, with that amount of magnetic force coming off those fans, I don't really want them near the computer and messing up anything. I even made this little relay circuit. One end connects into the computer's power supply. Got a relay on the other end, which was going to switch the fans on and off when the computer's on. Well, switch the fans on when the computer's on and off when the computer's off. So I think I'm going to have to redesign my thing a bit here. Okay, well, I've replaced those two fans with a couple of brushless DC fans. I've got this main one here to blow cool air over the CPU cooler. And this one here just to provide a little bit of extra for the rest of the motherboard. Now I would like to use a few more fans than that, but I don't want to overload the motherboard's PWM driver on there, so 2 should be adequate. One thing that's way more than adequate is the amount of wire I've put on here. I thought I was going to need more, so I put more wire on there, thinking that that would be just about enough, and well, it's more than enough. Anyway, I'm going to power this thing on and see how well it performs, and in the next video, going to put the shelf on and everything, and we'll see how things go. Well, the 2 fans are spinning, and it's detected that I've put in the TV capture card, so I better go and install that. Right, well, just testing the video card. I have the Handycam on the bed somewhere. There we go. And I've got that plugged into the capture card. I've got it plugged in right here, which goes into the capture card. And the picture quality is absolutely terrible, but I think I might know what's causing that. I think I've got this set on to NTSC, and of course the camera's outputting a PAL signal, so I'll have to change that. If I can remember how to do it. I've really forgotten how to do this. Ah, there we go. Video. Yep, it's set to NTSC, that's why the picture's terrible. We want it on PAL. There we go, that's better. Two fields. Marvelous. This was a video that didn't get into YouTube, by the way, if you're wondering, because it ended up in failure. Alright, I'll just stop the camera so I know that's working. Anyway, I've just got to put all this together now. Well, it is together, but I mean, let's just zoom out a bit. I got to make the shelf and everything now. But this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to do that in the next video. So, until next time, goodbye.